Welcome back to the ChampCar World Series, where Guillermo Perez is on pole from Davi Carrera and teammate and points leader Daf Sanchez. Nico Palomino is fourth from Casper Lebow, last time out race winner Sebastian Ocampo and Remy Lebow. Kazuki Takahana is eighth from Danny Ortega and Francis Austin. Then it's Matthew Hart, Ash Cornwell, Ray Shen and Lam Fong. Alongside him is teammate Vita Alves and Charles Hernandez. Then it's Daniel Bogdasarov, Nunez Garcia, your boy, his teammate Ahmed Cilia in the back row of Theo and Dominic Vancelau. The fifth round in the ChampCar World Series takes us to the shortest layout on the calendar. It's time for the Grand Prix of Long Beach. And we are underway in round 5, and a brilliant start off the line from Davi Carrera, going side by side and in front of Guillermo Perez by the time they reach the breaking point of turn number 1. Contact into the wall for Nico Palomino as the yellow flags came out. With green again coming through the opening sector, but Davi Carrera, the rookie from Brazil, now leads from Guillermo Perez and the points leader Daf Sanchez. And for Palomino, look at the state of that Target Chip Ganassi front wing, trying to hold it alongside with Sims Takahana. Last time out's race winner Casper Lebow has dropped down to P10. We could see Forsyth Racing finally score some points today. They've got a very quick car underneath them, so I'm very shocked that they haven't scored anything. On board with Palomino, tries to get past and does get past Sims Takahana, but has no grip to hold on through this very tricky final part of the lap. And you've seen that already. Someone's gone off facing backwards. That's Vita Alves and one of the Conquest cars of Ahmed Cilia. 2 yellow flags coming out by the time we hit lap 2 of 18. But Davi Carrera leads. It's Casper Lebow also with front wing damage. So that explains the positions he has lost. And this track, an anti-clockwise run through the streets of Long Beach. It's always great to see the palm trees as we look back with Charles Hernandez running in 15th for Monster Energy Power Motorsport. Yet to win a race in the Electric Racing League as a whole, as we go on board with Daf Sanchez, who's had a very torrid time in Formula E, but his ChampCar experience so far in Season 6, a lot more like what we saw last season. As they make their way, coming through the final few corners, Davi Carrera, 48.9. This race is going to fly by you, trust me on that one. As the pack making their way down the straight, on board with Daniel Bogdasarov, his teammate Dominic Vancelau, down in 18th. Ash Cornwell has made its way back up into the top 10, had the opportunity for a podium last time out, but it didn't quite come to fruition, and that, for a lot of people, very much disappointed him, but still he is the fastest man out there on track with the fastest opening section of anyone. Fastest laps don't count towards points, as I've mentioned quite a few times this and last season. Meanwhile, further down the order, look at this fight for 18th and 19th rather. We could see some drivers come into the pits at the end of this lap. It's interesting that Hyperdrive Racing put both of their drivers onto roughly the same strategy, but this is a track where you can do a lot of laps on the same compound of tyre. Top 3 all staying out. Who is going to be the first man to pull the trigger? Well, Palomino and Casper Lebow, they both had to come in to serve of either a time penalty or just to fix that front wing of both of theirs in time. So for Palomino, another torrid day in the office. Vita Alves also fixing that front wing as Garcia getting a 10-second time penalty for causing collisions. Very dirty day for the Luxembourgish driver. Matthew Hart in 10th place, closing up to Ash Cornwell. Forsyth Racing, I mentioned this at the start of the race, as we're now on lap 4 of 18. Forsyth still yet to score a single point this season. Today looks to be a very good points haul, but potentially they are far out of the championship hunt. Carrera has come down into the pits, straps on a set of soft tyres. Ocampo follows him in, and this could actually be a track where the softs are a very viable tyre to use. 38% tyre wear is what Daf Sanchez has on his steering wheel. We look to Charles Hernandez, the only man who started this race on the hards. He's at 51%. He's got so much left to give as someone has gone off. Matthew Hart has had an incident. He's hit the wall, it seems. Yellow flags came out. No, he didn't. He went off the track. It's Ray Shen who had damage and an incident. He's got front wing damage. Sorry for pointing out the wrong driver as Bogdasarov gets a time penalty. They're going 3 wide over 9th place. Look at that. It's a wonder they don't collide. Vancelau, the man 5th in points, in the midst of this as well. Sergio Herrera into this battle he goes, and Bogdasarov has a 10-second time penalty over his head. This is unbelievable racing for 8th place as the race leaders now all come down into pit lane and off into the wall. Sergio Herrera, Ocampo, 3 cars all hitting the barriers. They go green again. That was a big one. Oh, Ocampo's still there. Casper Lebeau runs into the 2-time Formula E champion. No, that's Charles Hernandez, sorry. Not Sebastian Ocampo. The cautions come out. Perfect timing for Daf Sanchez to come out of the pits in 3rd place on the hard compound tyres. Meanwhile, his teammate has got front wing damage and a time penalty. This is a rookie error if I've ever seen it before. About to go green again. And Remy Lebeau did gain somewhat out of that, while his son definitely did not. Matthew Hart actually got past Daf Sanchez, it seems. Maybe he's going a bit slower. No, he isn't. As Vancelau, his 6-lap-old soft compound tyres, 7% for the 98. He should be able to make it back to pit lane, though, as we remain on board with the KV Racing Lotus, as they're going 3 wide behind him. What is it about that number 98 that produces 3 wide racing? I don't know. It's the top 2 coming to the pits, and Vancelau's hit 2% tyre wear. That Verse Theo has a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision, and a rear puncture for Dominic Vancelau as he dives down into pit lane. Davi Sercarrera comes in. He will serve his 5-second time penalty and take himself out of race-winning contention. Ocampo getting a 5-second time penalty, contacts with Francis Austin. Daf Sanchez leads 1 second in front of Guillermo Perez. Bogdasarov with a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision. Woo. You know, for a race that's only had one did not finish so far with 11 laps to go, I think we've had a pretty exciting race here in the Long Beach so far. Ocampo trying to close up to the back of Francis Austin. And just for a second, can we mention Danny Ortega for Team Penske? He's about to take a career best 5th place finish. Do we have people coming into the pits? I don't think so. Attack mode is online further up the field for Guillermo Perez, but there's not enough distance for a half-second advantage to work out too quickly. Perez with the opening sector of Dreams, as there goes Bogdasarov past Lam Fong. And we go on board with the man driving car number 3, trying to go 2x2 with Daf Sanchez, but he just can't get the pass done yet. We stay on board with the man in the 3 car. He's looking for the inside, can't make the inside lunge. Almost tags the back of him, and he can't get past. Nicholas Palomino with the fastest opening sector of anybody as we go on to half race distance, and Danny Ortega has hit the wall. He's got front wing damage. Yellow's in sector 3, and Ocampo's got damage as well. So the 2 of them have collided, it seems. They go green in sector 3 again, also down to pit lane. Your boy and Vitor Alves, and more yellows. Dominic Vancelau's had an off, has he? He has, and Palomino involved. And facing the wrong direction, Sercarrera comes by. Thankfully does not hit him. Vancelau comes down into pit lane. And that's his hopes of scoring points done and dusted, as now Guillermo Perez is in front of Daf Sanchez. Sanchez has been overtaken for the race lead. Perez going for a 2nd race win in the ERL ChampCar World Series. Sanchez trying to increase his points lead as we begin lap 10 of 18. Ocampo in 16th place gets past Verse Theo, but has a final track limits warning. Bogdasarov further up. He's in the wall. Spins it round. He's facing the wrong direction. There goes Garcia and Casper Lebeau. The rest of the field quite a ways away from the Frenchman, who gets it back on track. And with Davi Sercarrera now just coming up behind him, into the pits comes the 97. It's all at the same corner in that final sector of the track. It's this very weirdly profiled hairpin that we've just come through with Guillermo Perez, and the fact that the track kind of has a bit of a swollen section right behind it. Sanchez 3/10 down on Perez as they both come into the pits. Soft tires going on for Daff. He's got another stop to make, which is very interesting. Another set of softs for Guillermo Perez and Francis Austin. If Andretti Green play the strategy correctly today, they could be on for a race win, but they strap on another set of softs. Ocampo has had an off, and a 5-second time penalty has befallen him as into the wall for Cilia. Oh! Airborne for Nico Palomino, and the two Penske's collide. Thus, Theo is out of this race. Full course cautions on lap 11 as Casper Lebeau runs into the back of Nico Palomino, his dad's Formula E teammate. This is a perfect time to come into the pits. Sims Takahana leads this race. Perez has managed to come out of the pits 2 seconds in front of Daft Sanchez. Matthew Hart has front wing damage, if that's worth anything. But we're about to go back under the green flags one more time here in Long Beach. And now Francis Austin really gaining side by side and past Matthew Hart. Not the hardest pass that we've seen all race long. Okay, I'll see myself out. We've got 1/3 left of this race to go as Sims Takahana comes down into the pits. Alves getting a time penalty, contact with Nunez Garcia. Meanwhile, Garcia's teammate Cornwell still running in 13th place. Not the greatest day in the office for any of these drivers, unless your name is Guillermo Perez. Started this race from the front. His teammate did what he could to defy expectations, but I think he might have done a little bit too much in the 93 Target Chip Ganassi car. That's your Season 4 IndyCar Series champion. And for Perez, he could be on for another unique champion. There has been no double champions in the ERL USA Series as they go on to begin lap 13. Just looking back into the midfield, Nunez Garcia, not too close with Ray Shen anymore. So they make their way through the chicane. It's contact! That's Ocampo and Lam Fong. Lam Fong facing backwards as Cornwell has hit the wall. He's got damage. Ooh! Into the wall for Lam Fong again as Casper Lebeau has just punted him. Spinning off the track is Matthew Hart. Ooh, goodness me. I don't think the 21's going to be able to come down into pit lane, is he? No. He's going to have to stay out and do an entire lap with that level of front wing damage. With Bogdasarov now chasing after him. Should be an easy pass for the number 97. As into the pits for Daft Sanchez. Perez stays out. Hyperdrive Racing are playing the undercut with medium tires that can take Daft Sanchez to the end of this race. If your boys' stint on the softs are anything to go by. For Daft Sanchez right now, he needs a good final stint and he needs no more full course yellows, especially not when Perez tries to come in. Otherwise, he could actually lose out on a podium here. Coming out of the pits there for Sanchez, a 3 wide. That's very, very close with Nunez Garcia, who almost hits him. He doesn't have attack mode, does the 72. He doesn't care. He holds on to 4th place anyway. And now Shen, Garcia, and Takahana all fighting over 5th. With many drivers coming down into the pits, we're going to see a lot of lap drivers today, I feel, by the time the checkered flag comes out. And that's the move of the race, surely, for Sims Takahana. Perez starts lap 15 of 18. Austin comes down into the pits. Remy Lebeau stays out. So for Daft Sanchez, that's an almost certain podium at this stage. And for Perez and Lebeau, 32%. And for Lebeau himself, as he's dueling away with his teammate, 43%. Hart is a lapped car. So that's very hard news to grapple with. His teammate now in front of him. This could be very interesting to see how this race unfolds for one reason. Are Chip Ganassi and Forsyth considering doing a no stop to the end as into the wall there for Ocampo? Cilia, was that? No, it was Palomino, wasn't it? No, that was race leader Guillermo Perez! Guillermo Perez hit the wall! at 20% tyre wear. He calls the yellow flag. He comes into the pits. Remy LeBeau on the penultimate lap, on the third to last lap, sorry. He now leads at 31%. Sanchez has the opportunity to win this race. The undercut has succeeded down at Hyperdrive. The longer they kept Perez out, the longer they risked something like that happening. And with LeBeau now fighting with his teammate, this seems like an open goal for Hyperdrive Racing to take their second win of the season. It looked as if David Carrera was going to do it on lap 1. So there goes Hart past his teammate, unlapping himself. That right there is Dav Sanchez on the back of Remy LeBeau. Blue flags being ignored for the 21. Who knows why? As there goes Dav Sanchez to the race lead here in Long Beach. Rounding the final corner to start the penultimate lap of this race, and he is not being challenged by anyone. Lap 17 of 18 here at the Grand Prix of Long Beach. That right there is Nico Palomino, who started quite high up the order and unfortunately had so much misfortune befall him. So he's down in 18th and could drop to 19th, in fact. Keep your eyes on the minimap. Everywhere that isn't the track, it feels like is where you gotta look. No one's got time penalty, so hopefully this race isn't going to be decided by anything like that. Vita Alves has gone off the track. We go on board with the number 12. And in terms of the tyre situation, the only one that's realistically going to have any worries is Dominic Vancelau. But even now, we know you should be able to do 6 laps, or can you? Because with Remy LeBeau, he's on 6 lap old mediums. We begin the final lap. Not again, Team Forsyth. You've got to be kidding me! 7 lap old mediums to the end of this race. Are they sure? As we're on the final lap, Perez is trying to chase down your race leader. Meanwhile, the man sat in 3rd place is going to have a puncture, a full car puncture coming through the 2nd sector. We could have a full course yellow here on this final lap as the race leaders make their way through the final sector. Francis Austin moves up into 3rd place. The next man closest to Remy LeBeau is your boy who runs in 5th. But for Dav Sanchez, it's a perfect day in the office. He rounds the final corner for his 2nd season win at the Grand Prix of Long Beach. 2 wins on the season for Dav Sanchez, and where else than the race he won last season at the start of last season as Takahata runs into the back of Remy LeBeau. Time penalty for the Sims Racing driver. As this could get a bit ugly. His teammate coming to the line. Sir Carrera with the fastest lap in 9th. Cornwell missing out on the on points rather, not even a podium. The rest of the field coming across the line now. That is certainly one way to have the shortest race of the season. This is your podium. Dav Sanchez takes his 2nd win of the season in front of Guillermo Perez and Francis Austin, who took it at the last possible opportunity with Remy LeBeau's puncture at the end. That will give Forsyth some points as we take a look at the rest of your finishes. Your boy was 4th from Garcia and Chen. LeBeau came across the line in 7th from Davi Carrera and Sims Takahana. Vita Alves, the last of your point scorers, and outside of the top 10, you've got Cornwell from Ortega, Vancelau, Celia, Fong, Bogdasarov, LeBeau, and the drivers who are a lap down coming to the line, Palomino, Ocampo, and Matthew Hart. The non-finishers were Theo and Charles Hernandez. So, in the driver's standings, Dav Sanchez still leads, and he is dominating the points lead right now. He's over 20 points in front of Casper LeBeau. Then it's Nunez Garcia, Ray Shen tied on points with Guillermo Perez, and it's your boy Dominic Vancelau, Francis Austin, and Nico Palomino, who's tied on points with Theo. Sebastian Ocampo is 11th from Vita Alves and Daniel Bogdasarov. Then it's Davi Carrera, Lam Fong, Ash Cornwell. A 3-way tie for 17th between Ahmed Celia, Charles Hernandez, and Remy LeBeau. Then it's Kazuki Takahana, Daniel Ortega, and Matthew Hart, who is still yet to score. So, in the team standings heading into round 6, the ChampCar Trophy of Germany, Hyperdrive Racing lead the way from Andretti Green Racing and Target Chip Ganassi. Then it's Dale Coyne Racing, Sims Racing, and KV Racing Technologies. Conquest Racing is 7th from Power Motorsport and Team Penske, with Team Forsyth on 6 points, rounding up the back of the standings. Well, here are your finishing orders from all of the prior races so far. Sanchez, the only man to take multiple wins so far this season. Casper Lebow with a 5th, 4th, and a win, being his only point scores all season long. He is 2nd in points. I'm pretty sure Daf Sanchez might actually be the only man who has scored a point in every race so far. In fact, taking a look at everyone here, he is the only man who's scored in every race so far. Will that change next time out in Germany? We'll have to tune in to find out when the ChampCar World Series returns.